Jules, we're big Santi Jimenez fans. Reports in Holland linking with Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
But then Forest are also linked with a £30 million move for Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
Now, I know Forest is kind of like wacky land. Like, they do interesting things.
Yeah.
I no disrespect to Eddie, but I know who I'd rather sign.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they want to sign two strikers with the same profile is encouraging, I think, from a club's point of view, because obviously Nketiah and Santi are very, very similar, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. But anyway, that's one for another time. I don't think Feyenoord would be happy with 30 million, certainly the way the deal is structured from Forest, 26 plus 4. Whereas I think Arsenal would be very happy with 30 million for...
Why don't Arsenal just sign Santi? Why don't Arsenal sell Nketiah and sign
that.
Santi? No, but
Santi Jimenez, Arsenal.
What's going on? Why wouldn't you expect more?
Yeah,
in terms of fee, that they could get more.
I was invited on the Football America show the other night. We talked about Santi Jimenez, and I think maybe the fact that
did Seb get all excited? Did he start salivating?
Seb was on holiday, so Alexis was there with Herc and I. We were all wearing lovely football stuff. I don't know. It's a strange one, because at some point it looked like Santi Jimenez stock was going up and up and up and up. And that at some point the big move, whether to Italy, to England, wherever, was on the cards. And then maybe last season, and maybe some of the chances that he missed, the numbers, maybe put a few people off. Copa America as well, maybe the Champions League too. So I don't know. He's still young. He's still 23 years old. So there's plenty of time for him. But I don't think he will go to Forest, and I would bet that they get Nketiah though. Speaking of big strikers, Gabi, Chelsea are meeting with Napoli in the next few hours over Romelu Lukaku. This is getting done, do you think?
The Lukaku reportedly has a deal with Napoli, thanks to Conte. It's 3 years at 6 million net plus bonuses, which when you work it all out is not. It's a little pay cut. It's not a big.
Yeah,
pay
not
cut.
big.
A 3-year deal for Lukaku at this stage of his career seems folly to me, but whatever. So now they got to hammer out the price with Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea, if they get Broja over the line and they got the Gallagher deal done, maybe they can go and get a discount. I mean, I think if you're Chelsea, you do not want to be in this situation again next year where you have to find a home for him. So I think that's why. I think they already wrote down part of the value. I think my guess is this deal gets done maybe at 25 million, 30 million, euros like that, which is a lot of money. Also, Napoli getting David Neres,
which I don't understand.
The artist form. We thought he was so good when he was so young.
Yeah, but now he hasn't been good for a while.
One of those mysterious. I wonder who looks after one. He was very good at placing players.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the background, if Lukaku comes, is that then free up Osimhen. Again, Osimhen, poor guy's been training on his own.
Yeah.
One of the top center forwards in the world. Not a piece from anyone.
Are you surprised that he hasn't found a club yet, that nobody's come for him apart from Saudi clubs?
This is what I think. I think your friends at Paris Saint-Germain have spoken to Osimhen's people.
Yeah, that we
said,
know.
let us sort out all this crap. Let's get rid of that Ugarte, ugly Arte, as Luis Enrique calls him. And then I'm going to come for you, Victor. You just sit tight, train on your own, and then I'm going to come in. I'll make sure Gonzalo Ramos gets injured in the first week of the season, so I can sell this even more.
So that was the plan all along.
Maybe I can trick somebody into taking Colomwani away because Gab Marcotti really doesn't like him.
Chelsea, maybe? Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Colomwani, great signing.
Respect. No, but it's logical, right? And then August 31st comes and somebody shows, but this is the stupid thing. This is what Napoli got wrong. Somebody shows up and says like, hey, De La Ventis, 40 million for Osimhen. And then what?
I know.
And then they say no. And then Conte has to go and beg Osimhen to come into the side. And then we see an Osimhen-Lukaku partnership.
Definitely not. Nobody wants to see that.
On paper, no. But would it be so bad? Can two big people not play together?
No. Them two can't play together.
I don't know where this is going, but
Conte.
Whatever. Does seem like Napoli laid an egg here. Meanwhile, Mika Merino continues to train on his own at Real Sociedad. Jules, I take it as a certainty that the man is joining Arsenal.
Yeah, I think that will happen too. He was not involved in the game of the weekend that they lost.
Why aren't Arsenal fans more excited about this?
Maybe because it just hasn't happened yet. So, just don't get excited, and then when it happens, you get excited.
I would be I think it might be because people remember him from the Premier League before. But for me, I get somebody who can play that role, which is, I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not in his 30s.
Yeah.
Who's not Thomas
He's not
Partey.
far. He's not far from his 30s.
He's 27, isn't he?
28, yeah.
28, whatever. You got a couple of years. The man just won the
I'm
Euros.
with you. I love him. I'm with you.
Rather than the umpteenth, look, another left-footed centre-back, left-back, because we don't have enough of those.
No, they
Nothing wrong with that.
did that as well.
Look, they already got the handsome guy in Calafiori. Now they
I
can
met
get...
Calafiori on Saturday, and we had a lovely chat.
Is he as handsome in real life as he looks?
And he smelled good. But the way he was looking at me...
Compared to Merino, who doesn't smell as good.
I don't know. I've never met Merino, but between me and Calafiori, there was a connection. Something happened. The way we looked at each other and everything. So yeah, and his brother, who was there too, looked like him. I guess they're brothers, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
Okay, on that homework.
Yeah,
let's
let's
move forward.
go. Atalanta destroyed Lecce 4-0 away on Monday, and Gab, no Coupe Minor, no Lookman, no problem.
No, so Coupe Miner's still. On the
wants to move to Juve, right?
Wants to try to force through a move to Juve. I used to think, all right, this will get done. I'm not 100% certain at this stage that the Coupe Miners deal is that automatic, because Atalanta can hang in there if they want to. They have brought in Samardzic, so to me that's a hint that Coupe Miners is going to move.
Yeah.
Ademola Lookman looked like he pulled the Coupe Miners himself.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting. But now he's kind of backing through the door because at some point somebody convinced them that, guess who? Paris Saint-Germain, we're going to sign him.
Which I've had conflict. This is not what I was told, but maybe this is true.
I think Lookman knows that it's in his interest. Stay at Atalanta, play well for as long as you want, and then maybe when Paris Saint-Germain don't get Osimhen, maybe they'll come for you. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe somebody else will, right? Maybe. Even though you're completely different types of Nigerians, but whatever. Manuel Neuer is retiring from international football. Jules, your thoughts?
I've loved Manuel Neuer. I think he changed the way goalkeeper played.
Okay. Do I need to send Rene Guita to your house to beat you up?
I mean,
and shake
I can't believe that in the same sentence you put Rene Guita's name with Manuel Neuer. Really, I cannot. So Manuel Neuer, seriously now, incredible servant to his country.
Colombian
obviously.
Twitter, do your thing, please.
George Valderrama.
At Lawrence Julian.
Valderrama, and who do you want to put his name in with in the same sentence?
Somebody else with big hair, Adrian Rabiot. All right, whatever.
Manuel Neuer, incredible. I mean, not just incredible. It's what he did with Germany, winning the World Cup. Okay, didn't win the Euros, came close, but yeah, just outstanding. I think his international career, his career overall, one of the greatest keepers of all time. So yeah.
I think it's not like he's a lot older than people think he is.
Yeah.
And guess what? He keeps getting older every year.
Of course.
It doesn't help. I think it's good. This would have been a distraction for him. It's a long time to 2 years. From Germany's perspective, you have an exceptional number 2 in Ter Stegen.
Partying last night.
And I think Neuer needs to focus a little bit more on Bayern.
But that is almost finished, right? This season, maybe one more maximum, and then that's it, no?
Yeah. But he wants to obviously be the Bayern number 1 for as long as he can.
Yeah. Further details have been announced about Manchester United. Cost savings. Gab, staff won't get lunch boxes on match days. Yeah, that's still a thing. And they are cutting the numbers of programs distributed in luxury boxes as well.
Okay, so I saw this story, and I'm all for making fun of corporations being stingy and saving money on stupid things and whatever. However, and I'm even more fun of making fun of Jim Ratcliffe because Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
That said, I think we need to be fair to Manchester United. What they're doing is very, very reasonable, right? If you read the details of the story, so first of all, these lunch boxes were given to like agency staff, which is all those people you see at football clubs, like stewards, people who clean. Those aren't club employees. Those are people who come for the game.
Yes.
United used to give them lunch boxes, and they said, look, what's happening is people aren't eating their lunches. Why? Because it's often gross. You get those
we have some, with UEFA when we go to Champions League match. They give us like a little pack lunch.
Yeah, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's really bad. It's like a piece of fruit and like a crappy sandwich and whatever. So United are saying, look, they're wasting this. What we're going to make available for them, because they have a whole catering staff there, we're going to make some extra food for people who do want to eat.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't know. games at 3 o'clock. Do I need to eat lunch at 12 and have the club pay for it? I don't. Bring the sandwich from home. Have a big breakfast. I don't, to me, this does not seem that unreasonable.
No.
The stuff with the luxury boxes where, they found some moron to quote like, oh, well, if I'm paying for a luxury box, then I expect a program. Like, so what they're doing is the boxes have 10 places in them. They're putting 5 programs in the box. It's reasonable. Apart from the fact, I think, unless you're like a guy who collects match programs, come on.
No, you read them before the game and then you leave it there. I read them.
Okay, I don't.
Okay.
I never read them. I look at the back.
It's your loss. Some stuff is really interesting.
But you leave them there, right? You don't take it home. So,
some do.
So what
some
United
don't.
are saying is, look, it's 5 programs in the box. If you want your own program, just ask for it. We'll give it to you. Yeah. We're not going to lay it out there so people can use it for toilet paper or whatever. And it's just a waste of money. Or also they're saying like, hey, it's 2024. There's a QR code. Scan the QR code. Download the whole program to your phone. Yeah. I think this is reasonable, and this is not something to beat Manchester United up about.
I agree.
Thierry Henry has left his gig as France's under-21 Olympic team coach. What's next for TT, Jules?
It's a good question, Gabby. Yeah, I do think that...
I think he could fill in. When one of us isn't here, I think he should fill in.
He should.
On the Gab and Juls show.
I'll mention it to him.
Yeah, like you can be part of the rotation with Don, Robbo, and Nathan.
He loves the show, but I think his ambition is maybe to go back to a job as a head coach somewhere, which I think what he did with the French under 21s and then under 23 at the Olympics have showed how capable he would be. I think he's a much better coach than he was at Montreal, than he was at Monaco before, or even with the Belgium national team. That's for sure. So I think his stock is rising starting going in the right direction. Maybe not enough yet to go at top club, of course, but I expect him to get offers from decent clubs with decent projects that he can go into and show how well he can do, and then get a much bigger job, because I really think that there's great potential there from him.
We know what I like about Thierry Henry, which I think sets him apart. Obviously, we always have these debates about great footballers who've made all the money and whatever, and then they go into coaching. Most of the ones who stick around in coaching, their careers are kind of like vertical success stories, right? Like Pep Guardiola, Xabi Alonso. Thierry Henry's been up and down.
Yeah, very much down even.
And he still wants to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I like, because he's got all the money, he's got the fame, and he wants to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I presume it's because he wants to be
That's very true.
out on the training pitch.
Yeah. Back to Napoli, Gabby. We talked about Lukaku. We talked a bit about David Neres as well.
You want to ask me about somebody else?
What about Billy Gilmour, who's also been linked with them, and even Scott McTominay?
Okay. So, Conte has Lobotka and Zambonghisa in midfield, right? Yeah. Plays a 3-4-2-1 if you want system. So just 2 central midfielders. Lobotka, isn't he kind of like the East European version of Billy Gilmour?
He is.
The little man who passes?
Older though, but yeah, he is.
What do you need Billy Gilmour for?
I don't know, maybe at 10 million you think it's a good deal for a good player.
You think you can get Billy Gilmour for just 10 million?
I think they've offered 13, I think around 13 Brighton wants, something like that.
That little?
Yeah.
We've all gone off Billy Gilmour now.
Well, yeah, apparently, yeah. Clearly, Fabian doesn't rate him or something. I don't know. Yeah, I thought he was quite. If it's more than that, yeah, you're right. I share your skepticism.
At that price, yeah. He's young enough, and you know that it. Because obviously he's a UK player.
Yeah.
If he does well,
absolutely,
you can sell him back and back. McTominay, I'm not even going to go there.
No.
Jules, we had Champions League qualifiers last night. That young boys Galatasaray game was something else.
Was amazing.
Right, calling the penalty at the end?
So, I didn't think so at all. Simply because I think that, yes, the ball touches his hand after being deflected onto his leg. So, he goes for the last ditch tackle on the shot. He hits his leg first and then his hand. I think the ball is already going over the bar. So,
are you certain of this? Because I think that has to be the discriminant.
Yeah, this is
if after it hits the leg, you think that without the hand the ball's going in.
Yeah, that's why
then you have to give it.
Yeah, you have to give it. I think for me,
but that's not why he gave it, because he booked the guy, which he wouldn't have done.
Yeah, and that was second yellow, and Abdul Karim got sent off, and will miss the second leg now next week. So yeah, I thought it was harsh, and certainly the double sanction, the penalty and the second yellow, which meant a red, felt harsh as well for a Galatasaray team that was 2-0 down and playing horribly to come back to 2-2 with Michy Batshuayi coming off the bench and being the saviour to losing 3-2 then, which means next week in Istanbul it's going to be epic, that's for sure.
We need Galatasaray in Champions League. Sorry, young boys, but you know.
Yeah, true. We don't want the plastic pitch. I don't want a plastic pitch in the Champions League either. So. Meanwhile, those Jurgen Klopp addicts suffering from withdrawal symptoms got to enjoy Pep Linders at Salzburg. Big 2-0 win for them away in Poland against Dynamo Kiev.
Yeah, Dynamo Kiev, Naka, Chivkovsky. No, it's just not.
Shaparenko is a lovely player though.
But and also the Israeli kid, Gluck.
Oh, amazing! But we knew that. I'm just surprised he's still there because surely that's the last season. He was outstanding yesterday. So was Yeo and Nene, and Salzburg are really fun to watch. Their press, everything. It's really, really good.
Jonathan Rowe, speaking of fun players,
yes,
on his way to Marseille. My man Zerbi's getting everything he wants, Jules.
Absolutely, Gabby. Massive changes in the squad. A lot of players leaving, a lot of players arriving. Like Jonathan Rowe, Norwich legend, obviously, at 21 years old. But he was good last season in the Championship. And Marseille is super happy they signed him because they're saying that loads of clubs wanted him, which I'm not sure is completely true. But they say we beat all the competition, all those English clubs who wanted him. Now he's coming to us. He's one of your favorite, loan with obligation to buy, 40 million euros. And yet they say I'll be super happy with him to play probably on the left-hand side, Greenwood on the right. And then we see who plays as a number 10 or second striker.
Why, no?
Behind Wai.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So Wai would be the 9, and then Harit right now plays as a 10, but he could also be.
But Harit gets injured anyway, right?
Yeah, true. True. So we see, but yeah, I like this signing a lot, and I like what Marseille are doing. Borussia Dortmund kick off the Bundesliga on Saturday against Eintracht Frankfurt. Got a big protest expected from the Yellow Wall.
Yeah, it's his business. The reason I included the story is A, we need the Bundesliga mention.
Yeah,
it wasn't Bayern related. But B, it just shows you the nature of the fans, right? They have the sponsorship with this company called Rheinmetall, which is, they make metal-related things, is the name. Yeah. They make a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff gets used to make weapons.
Exactly.
And they don't like that. They don't want to be associated with weapons manufacturing.
No, and who they sell the weapons to as well, yeah.
And who they sell the weapons to. And so, like, they don't, the fans are support. Well, I'll be really curious to see. This is unthinkable, by the way, in other countries, right? I mean, even...
Yeah, I agree.
I think, maybe some places, and some fan bases, but the vast majority of them, it's just, it's part of what makes the Bundesliga different. Adrien Rabiot is still a free agent.
He is.
As is Memphis Depay.
Yeah.
How do we feel about these two?
I don't know. And Wissam Ben Yedder, for example, is still a free agent as well. There's others. Is it because their demands are too high in terms of signing on fees and wages and things like that? Is it because they thought people would queue up to sign them and then there's no queue? I don't know. Like, we've seen Memphis putting his own video in Monaco, training on his own, like running and stuff.
Why is he in Monaco, by the way?
He lives there maybe now.
How do you get residency?
That's a good question. Or maybe he's just there on holidays in an Airbnb somewhere.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, curious. But you're right. I mean, certainly, I don't know Memphis Depay, but for Adrien Rabiot and Véronique, his mum and agent, they were convinced that club would come and that he would not be. He even wanted his future to be sorted out before the Euro started. He was that confident of getting a new club after turning down the new offer from Juventus for a new deal. So
it's funny strange. Because I think what we've seen is, so I was thinking of like the last high-profile player who goes out of contract, turns down all the moves, says people will come for me. It's a little bit different because it's a goalkeeper. David De Gea now
took him a year.
He's the backup goalkeeper at Fiorentina. Yeah. Now, he may make the starting position his own, but it's Conference League and whatever. He took a massive pay cut from what he was on. We knew from what he was on United because that was insane. But a big pay cut as well compared to some of his early demands.
Yeah.
You know, people forget about you really quickly. And Rabiot's probably the one who surprises me more than Depay, because Depay, you're thinking, all right, but if I get this guy, like, he's a bit inconsistent, I have to build a whole attack around him, whatever. But Rabiot, I thought would be more plug and play.
I know. He wants to come to England, to the Premier League. If I was Arsenal, we talked about Merino, and Merino is set it's going to go to Arsenal. But I think as a left-footed number 8, I would take Rabiot. If I was a Premier League, like a top club, I'd take Rabiot. I really would.
He's what? 3 years younger than Granit Xhaka? Maybe he can join Xabi Alonso and be the Granit. When Granit Xhaka moves on.
Maybe. Back to the Armando Broja deal, Gary, because you want to talk about it. So Ipswich reportedly have an obligation to buy at 30 million for next summer if they stay up, which obviously at some point they were going to play against each other. And Chelsea play Ipswich at Stamford Bridge, for example, in April. Is this okay with you, or do you think there's a bit of a conflict of interest somewhere?
I think there's a massive conflict. There's a massive appearance of conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's rules against it, but there should be, because this is a counter-incentive type thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting anybody would do anything untoward, but I do know that if you're a team that's fighting Ipswich to avoid relegation, and Ipswich win at Stamford Bridge in April, and it's, let's say at the time, Chelsea are mid-table, not competing for anything, or, the reality is 30 million for Armando Broja is worth more to Chelsea than the 7 or 8 million they would get from the Conference League or whatever, right? Yeah. So I think you can't have deals with incentives that can create these situations. So I think they need to find another one.
Yeah.
Another way of doing this, I think.
Yeah.
The PFA announced their team and player of the year, Jules. I could care less about this, so I'll leave it up to you. But there are some bizarro choices here. Starting with the goalkeeper.
You think David Raya is bizarre?
How is he the
best
goalkeeper of the year?
Best defense in the league.
Oh, okay. Then, sure.
But who would you have it given to?
I don't know. Just somebody who's not him. No, I don't...
No, I'm glad this is based on your own analysis or something. So Raya in goal, Walker, Saliba, Van Dijk, Gabriel. Okay, this is a bit weird to have Gabriel.
Okay, yeah.
He was happy. He was so happy to be part of that team. Rice, Rodri, Odegaard, Haaland, Foden, and Watkins. So no Cole Palmer, for example, in that team. Which,
You got the young player of the year.
Oh, he's not that young anymore. Phil Foden got player of the year, which I think we all agree on.
Fine,
certainly, that's fine. I don't know. I like this. I like this team. Yeah, you can make a case for Cole Palmer finding a role somewhere there.
They all come from the same. They all come from the same two teams. Sorry, they all come from City or Arsenal. Plus, then you've got Watkins, and then you got Van Dijk, who's in there for Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
But
players voted for that,
right? So there's nobody else. The players only pay attention to their own teammates and the big teams they see on television, right?
No, it's the whole players of the league that voted. It's not just Arsenal players picking Arsenal players and City players picking City players.
Man, it just seems so so boring. But I expect some insight. I expect the players saying, "Hey, guess what? That I don't know, that Pascal Gross is really good," or whatever. Somebody saying
I'm sure people voted for him, but not enough to be ahead of Odegaard or
whatever. Right, let's just move on.
No, but I just see Gabriel Magalhaes and how happy he was to be in there, and I'm just happy for him.
Yeah, and none of these players realize that there's no left back, but
it's Gabriel. He can play left back. He can play. Panathinaikos have signed Facundo Pellistri from Manchester United. Yes, he was still a Manchester United player, in case you've forgotten. Is it a good deal? Are you happy?
I am going to say something nice about Manchester United and the way they run for the second time on the show.
Yeah.
Okay? I think this is a tremendous deal. It's a tremendous deal for a player who clearly hasn't lived up to his potential, to the expectations.
Never really got his chance, to be fair to him.
And people say it wasn't good, blah, 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 whatever. But it's 6 million plus 2 million in bonuses, which I think just about covers his amortization and whatever, plus a little bit more. But then they get 45% of his sell-on fee.
That is massive.
So if he gets good, you cash in. Yeah. And if he gets good, they have a buyback until 2027, which is pretty cool, right? So they still haven't given up on them. They've hedged themselves. Honestly, this is financial engineering.
Panathinaikos must have been desperate, Gab, to agree to all of this.
They must really love Facundo Pellistri. I don't know.
Really, really desperate.
Barcelona have released mock-ups of the new Camp Nou. Yeah. It looks great and will once again be the biggest stadium in Europe. by some distance.
Yeah.
I'm excited for when it opens, although we
Me
don't
too.
know when that's going to be. You must be excited too.
Oh yeah, it looks I have to say, it looks fantastic. They've done a really, really, really good job. You're right. The biggest
Making
stadium
the
in Europe.
mock-ups and simulations look good.
Yeah, that's true. It's just it must be really exciting. And in terms of revenue and get revenues, to go back to the discussion we had at the start of the show, it's good for them. They needed that. You would expect that inside, because we've only it's only the ones I've seen is just the outside.
Yeah.
But you would expect luxury boxes, great things for merchandising, for the food and the drinks that you can have in there, so they can make as much money as possible. Yeah.
I think obviously they're in Montjuic, they'll Montjuic now, they'll remain in Montjuic. I think they're hoping that they can move in with a reduced capacity while they finish the stadium, which already I think is going to be a big boost.
Yeah, which Real Madrid did with the Bernabeu as well. They still played in there when it was not completely finished, so it can happen. Police in Brazil have dropped the investigation against Antony for domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend Gabriela Cavain. Gab, the investigation, however, is still ongoing in Manchester.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the allegations stem from events that happened when they were together in Manchester, so I think in some ways that's going to be more important to Antony, but still, this is an investigation back home. It cost him his place in the national team for a while, so I think it's an important step forward. Again, we're dealing with evidence, police investigations. We on the outside don't know, but we can talk about the impact it has on the players. Mm-hmm. So this is good news for Antony. Where it's going to really turn the corner is if he gets resolved in Manchester as well.
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, Jules, because the name brings back bad memories, but I have to mention Sergi Roberto.
I don't know him.
I always wondered why you were always so anti-Sergi Roberto, and then I could put the two and two together.
Even before that, I thought he was not a good player. But hey, anyway.
But he scored the final goal in the 6-1, by the way.
What's the question?
He's on the verge of joining Como.
Good
He joins Rafael Varane.
Yeah, exactly. I saw
injured
Como
Rafa.
play on Monday night. They were terrible, so he can go there.
Oh, come on, but you like seeing your buddy Cesc Fabregas.
Yes, Cesc Fabregas and Rafael Varane, you're right. I'm not sure Sergi Roberto moves the needle at all. I'm not really sure how useful he will be to them in Serie A, considering how average he was when he was even younger. So now that he's older, I'm not even sure what kind of level he can hit. Let's see. But I think Como needs much, much more than Sergi Roberto to stay up.
Okay, this is the Como story, getting back in the top flight is great.
Right.
He's getting old players, selling them on like Lake Como in the summer, which is nice. Not so much in the summer, but those sort of in between seasons.
Yeah.
And George Clooney and all this. That's all cool. Now, it's less cool in winter when all of a sudden, like, the fog rolls in. But that's fine. You can go to Milan, you can go shopping, you can go skiing somewhere else if your contract allows. But it seems to me they only kind of, these, like, big-name players. I don't quite get the strategy. They're going after that guy from the Uruguayan kid who's Real Madrid B, is it Nico Paz or Rafa Paz?
Yeah, Nico.
I don't know.
I'm with you. There's no direction at all in what they're doing in terms of recruitment. Fabrizio Romano reports that Georgi Mamadashvili could spend another season on loan at Valencia if he signs with Liverpool. That makes sense to you, right? To go back to the point we had with Kelleher, Alisson, and all of that.
Yeah, it's it's a Ramsdale effect as well. Like, of course, it just makes more sense. I do think, and it is a bizarre situation. I feel like right now there really is a glut of keepers everywhere around Europe, and you're better off having Mamadashvili start. And stay where he is if you think he has a future. He's obviously substantially younger than Alisson.
Yeah.
And I think he's also 3 or 4 years younger maybe 3 years younger than Kelleher. Kelleher is not,
not that young anymore.
He's not old, but he's like 24, 25 now, I think. So, sure, I think that's the only way it makes sense. But if you're Kelleher, you are kind of looking around and, you're hoping you find a landing spot.